Love and care about reversting her peace. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. You can watch Rstv News live on YouTube at Rstv Online and on Facebook at Rstv CH22 Online. Click the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. A very good evening. Welcome to Rstv World News Tonight. I am Akilachi KJ. Permit me to say a happy Mothering Sunday to all the mothers out there. And now to the news in detail. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has approved the appointment of Mr. Nelson Chukwudi as the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor. A statement by the Senior Special Advisor on Media to the Governor, Boniface Onyedi, informed members of the public that the appointment is with immediate effect. Advice has gone to all mothers to imbibe the virtues of love, peace and compassion to ensure a virile society. These form the basis of messages delivered in different churches as mothers in Rivers State joined the rest of Christian women across the world to celebrate the 2024 Mother's Day. Nnamdi Olimini visited some churches in Port Harcourt and now reports.
Mothers at St. Matthew's Anglican Church in Pogo celebrated the 2024 Mothering Sunday with the theme, The Virtuous Woman, where the guest speaker, Louis Etitingo, described a virtuous woman as a home builder, God-fearing woman, while other members spoke on the significance of the event.
Mothering Sunday is to celebrate women. It's a day set aside for women to be celebrated. Sunday this year is the virtuous woman. A woman that loves with all her heart, a woman that is fearless, a woman that is ready to give all, a woman that does not hold back, a woman that goes all out to care for her husband and her children.
If you don't have a mother, you have a sister. And we can always testify of their impact in our lives, in our families. So if you understand the value of a woman, you will appreciate a woman.
At St. Paul's Cathedral, Diob, the event was celebrated with the theme, A Joyful Heart is a Good Medicine. The preacher and the wife of the vicar, Choma Ochulo, and other members of the church urged mothers to continue to play their role even in the face of the economic adversity bedeviling the country.
We are encouraging the women to be joyful in spite of the situation around us. They should be joyful. And at that, we are going to survive the situation.
I commend them because it's not easy considering what is happening in our society today. A situation where our mothers will go to the market, even if they have 100,000 cannot buy anything, but they still put things together and give us soup. It's not easy.
Encourage them at all times to seek the face of the Lord in all their endeavors in life. Because for a better home as a mother, for a better home as a wife, it's how much you have looked up to God to make those things possible.
And I would want to advise them they shouldn't give up despite the present economic reality of our nation. It could be possible that some parents, some men could no longer meet up their responsibility, but let them see themselves as a helpmate which the Lord has called them to be.
The 2024 Mother's Day celebration at All Saints Cathedral, Romukrosi, was celebrated with the theme, The Christian Mother Honored and Sought After. The wife of the Bishop of the Evo Diocese of the Anglican Communion, Chinyere Odu, and other members of the church said the essence of the event is to celebrate mothers and remind relevant authorities that the voice of mothers should be heard.
God commands us severally in scripture as women, wives, to be submissive to her husband. In fact, it's a commandment of God. And for me, any woman who submits to her husband has use whatever God has put in. I'm using my own words to work for God.
They should look unto God Almighty, who created everything. In all things, know that they are the pillar, the beacon of man in a home. They should not walk in at variance with their husbands.
Performance girls and Modern Sunday Thanksgiving added color to the celebration. Nnamdi Olimini, Rstv News.
And Now, the people of Igbo Kingdom in Eche local government area of Rivers State have to dethrone any traditional title holder involved in the grabbing of land left by their ancestral forebearers. Onyishi Aguru Igbo Kingdom, His Royal Majesty King Samuel Amechi revealed this position of the kingdom at a meeting of Council of Chiefs in his palace at Edegelim. Gatspa Anele reports that the youth executives of the kingdom also attended this crucial meeting.
Expressing displeasure over the negative effects of land grabbers in his kingdom with the support of unscrupulous indigents, King Amechi explained that the kingdom cannot fold its arms and allow them cause chaos between communities and families. King Amechi declared that any chief in his kingdom involved in the land grabbing exercise will be dethroned, just as anyone who sells a parcel of land twice will be prosecuted according to the law. King stock in trade, thereby marketing the abundantly blessed and hospitable kingdom, praying that the issue of land grabbing should be addressed by the state government and the community leaders without bias in order to enthrone lasting peace. King Amechi, who described dialogue as the best approach to achieving peace in the society, said the council is committed to providing an enabling environment to engender peace and progress, while appealing to the state government to come and develop its land in Igbo Eche, as it is causing problems between Igbo youth and their counterparts from the neighboring communities.
The kingdom took a resolution that any chief, directly or indirect, not suspension. They have made it compulsory that anybody buying land within Igbo Kingdom should please make sure that the village chief of that place is a signatory to the agreement.
The Onyishi, as well as the paramount ruler of Umoga community, Eze Shama Anyalebechi, expressed anger over the negative effects of land grabbing on the kingdom and advised the youth in the state to venture into meaningful activities that will bring development rather than resorting to personal gains and destruction.
It is affecting the communities in Igbo Kingdom, whereby we do not have areas where we can farm any longer. So we beg on the government to come and assist us. It's a very shameful thing to our voice, inviting foreigners owned by the indigenous. This is a taboo in our community. It has demarcated this kingdom. Every time on the news we hear land grabbing, nobody wants it to happen. Because, look at the issue of ancestral lands. These ancestral lands, that's what many people grew up with. No, people inherited these lands from their forefathers. And right before you, someone from nowhere will just come and
differences and jettison petty jealousies in the interest of the unity and development of the state. Diri, who spoke at the grand reception in honor of some eminent sons and it is time for governance. The governor, in a statement issued by spokesperson Daniel Alabra on Sunday, urged the people, irrespective of political differences, to rally around his administration to accelerate the pace of development of the state. The governor and his deputy, Lawrence Ehu Jakpo, were sworn in for their second term in office on 14 February 2024 following their victory at the 11 November 2023 governorship election on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. The Nigeria Labour Congress minimum wage, saying it is yet to adopt a position on an amount to be presented to the tripartite committee on the new minimum wage for workers. The president of the NLC, Joe Ajero, disclosed this to newsmen in an interview in Yola, Adamawa State. Speaking on the sidelines of the Northeast Zonal public hearing by the Tripartite Committee on National Wage, Ajero noted that the 500,000 naira and 700,000 naira being proposed as new minimum wage is unknown to the NLC. He said all the figures flying around should be disregarded because the NLC as a body had yet to adopt a common presentation on the new minimum wage. On his part, the chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association at Adamawa State, Dr. Solomon Bulus, said the Nigerian Medical and Dental Council backed the implementation of the 500,000 naira new minimum wage because it would drive down the hardship being experienced nationally. The Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, has said that only President Bola Tinubu has the prerogative to reopen the borders in the country. He stated this during an interactive session with members of the Kongolan border community in Mai Adwa local government area of Katsina State. Adeniyi, who was reacting to agitations for the reopening of the borders, assured that engagements and consultations were being held regarding the issue. Adeniyi reiterated that the service would focus on removing obstacles militating against free trade in line with the present administration's agenda of fostering economic prosperity. According to reports, the Comptroller General maintained that proactive measures had been employed to reduce the number of checkpoints along the border posts and promote synergy between the service personnel and traders. National Executive Council, NEC, of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, has approved a 7-day warning strike starting on 18 March over the federal government's inability on Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NAC 2022, but were not paid salaries within the period of the strike by the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari should be paid for 4 months. While the Office of the Accountant's President, the 3 unions of non-teaching staff are yet to be paid. At its 47th noted unanimously for a 7-day warning strike, which will be followed by an indefinite strike. If a task, we must all accompany at Rstv CH online. Subscribe, click the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Now time for a short break, but still to come. Indonesia flash floods leave havoc in its trail, claim 19 lives. And in sports, France win Wales in 8x6 nation outing. These and more stories when we return. Please stay.
I just want your papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so. And month I never even reach it. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect Roger from my hand. Shut up, sir. I'm here to bail my younger brother.
Happen.
With good laws,
proper funding,
training,
and cooperation.
If it happen.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Welcome back to Rstv World News, and now to the rest of our reports. Foreign trade data released by the National Bureau of Statistics for the 4th quarter of 2023 showed that the value of crude oil taken out of the country in the 3 months under review grew by 20.8%, accounting for a substantial portion of 81% of total exports during the period. Reports say Nigeria exported 8.5 trillion naira worth of crude oil in the 3rd quarter of last year, compared to 4.91 trillion naira in the 2nd quarter, which represents a 109% of rise in value. According to the report, a decline in crude production to nearly 900,000 barrels per day in the 3rd quarter of 2022 The federal government decided to step up and enlist local security organizations in the pipeline monitoring program. The growth in upstream activities in the oil and gas sector is further illustrated by the notable increase in Nigeria's oil rig count, which has recently reached around 30. The report added that following months of consistent expansion, Nigeria's crude oil production, including condensates, rose above 1.42 million barrels per day in January for the first time in years. Now, a fire outbreak has raised the Kano Electricity Distribution Company, KEDC, power substation located in Dan Agudi area of the state. The substation is said to be a major supply route in the KEDCO franchise areas covering Kano, Katsina and Jigawa states. With this development, a blackout looms as some areas might be thrown into the dark. Kano State Fire Service Saminu Yusuf confirmed the incident to newsmen but said he's yet to get details. Meanwhile, the cause of the fire outbreak is yet to be ascertained as at the time of this report. Now moving on to foreign stories, Portugal has gone to the polls in a vote that will either keep the centre-left in power or shift the country to the right.
For the right might
The
be on the
polls
cards
suggest
after
neither the
8 years of
socialist nor the
socialist
opposition
rule.
centre-right is likely to win outright. This could leave the far-right Chega party as kingmaker, although mainstream rivals have vowed to sideline it. The election comes 4 months after Antonio Costa's resignation as Prime Minister over corruption allegations. Mr. Costa was not named as a suspect, but investigators arrested his chief of staff over alleged irregularities in state contracts. Officials in Indonesia have said flash floods and a landslide in the country's Sumatra island have left at least 19 people dead and 7 others
villages
missing.
engulfed
Mud,
in water
rocks and uprooted trees
mud.
rushed down a mountainside
Days of
and engulfed villages in the Pesisir Selatan district of West Sumatra province late on Friday following torrential rains. News results said rescue. Indonesia's National Disaster Management Agency said 6 bodies were found in Pesisir and 3 bodies were found in the neighboring district of Padang Pariaman, bringing the total death toll so far to 19. The agency said at least 2 villagers were injured and 7 others were still missing, with more than 80,000 people fleeing to temporary government shelters. Flash floods and landslides are a common occurrence in Indonesia, where millions of people live near floodplains, especially during the rainy season. Now for some sport. France overpowered winless Wales in an 8-try Six Nations thriller in Cardiff. France scored tries through Gal Ficou, Nolan Le Garrec, George Henry Colomb, Romain Taufinois and Maxime Lucu, with Thomas Ramos adding 20 points. Wales managed tries from Rio Dyer, Thomas Williams and Joe Roberts, but were outmuscled in the second half. While France scored 25 unanswered points in the final quarter, it was a highest point tally for Le Blues in Wales as Fabian Gill